Now, I'm not sure how much of you guys remember the story involving young Quinette Johnson, the murder of young Quinette Johnson. Now, it happened back in 2018, a big case. Let me give you guys a refresher.
The teenager was last seen on Thursday, the 18th of October 2018, when she left home to visit relatives in Springs following a dispute with her sister. Her partially decomposed body was later found in a vacant house in Charlottesville in St. David on the 25th of October. The autopsy conducted revealed that Johnson died as a result of asphyxiation and was believed to have died between the 19th and the 20th of October 2018.
Now, her partially decomposed body, was found in the downstairs area of an abandoned building. I remember the story as if it was yesterday. We covered the story, we had the parents on, and they spoke about the gruesome nature of the murder. Now, her then boyfriend, Randy John, was arrested initially and charged for the killing. Now, of course, he proclaimed his innocence throughout the whole thing. Anyway, this was 2018, so it's going on, 4 years now since that been in court. Now, we're going to talk about the verdict that was handed down today. But before we get to the verdict, I want to talk about some of the things that went wrong in this situation right here. Some of the things, in hindsight, when we look at it, should never have happened. For one, it was said in court that Quinette, as she got off the bus, she was yelling and screaming that she don't want to go with this particular individual. She was yelling and screaming that she doesn't want to go. She was in distress. The bus driver, I'm sure the conductor, and other people possibly have heard her cry, but no one came to her defense. No one came to help her out. Reports are that she was somehow taken, and it seems that she was somehow raped in the process or before she was killed. Now, today, the verdict that was handed down was guilty for capital murder. Of course, the prosecution was able to prove that a sexual crime took place in the process of her murder.
He was charged initially with non-capital murder, but in the wisdom of the Director of Public Prosecution, those charges were elevated to capital murder because the Office of the DPP believed that a sexual offense also occurred.
It wasn't always capital murder. It was non-capital murder. It could have been manslaughter. In fact, there was a plea. As far as we was told, there was a plea on the table. But Randy decided not to take the plea. He wanted to go full on with the trial because he was convinced, or he convinced himself, or he was trying to convince the jury that he was innocent of this crime. Mind you, this young man was the last person that she was seen with. He was the last person that she was seen with. And there was multiple eyewitnesses to this. He still believed, or he still was trying or attempting to prove to the court that somehow he did not commit this crime.
We have just closed our case in front of the jury, and we made our arguments there.
No, his defense was not only weak, ladies and gentlemen. His defense was virtually laughable. Yeah, laughable. So here's what he was attempting to prove to the jury. He said that yes, he was with her that particular day, but then after they had their own personal time or whatever the case is, she somehow fell and hit herself in a certain kind of way. And he left her there. He held her up, put her in a certain position and left her there, and he went. Of course, the obvious question which the prosecution asked, so you just left her there? You didn't check on her? You didn't call 911? You didn't take her someplace to get assistance if she knocked herself and she's unconscious on the floor? No. What about the next day? What happened the next day? Did you check on her and see if she was okay? Did you call her? No. So that's why I say, his defense was not only weak, it was laughable. They were able to prove that a sexual assault took place. Her underwear was half off. And they were able to prove that without a reasonable doubt that that's what happened. After it was said and done, it was proven that she died as a result of strangulation. Yeah. She was somehow strangled and left for dead. You know, when we look back at this case, as I said, hindsight is always 2020. We always could look back at these things and say, boy, this went wrong, that went wrong. And a whole slew of things went wrong in this particular case. A whole lot. People would say that the bus driver, he basically saw that she was yelling and screaming and obviously didn't want to go any place with this Randy person. He didn't step in. And I know that people might say that is them children business, that is their business. If the bus driver and other people that was on that bus, if they had just stepped in, had that community spirit and tried to defend this young girl, quite possibly, we may not be speaking about her in the past tense today. Randy was found guilty of capital murder today. And although that verdict wouldn't bring her back, nothing in fact would bring her back. I hope we look at it and we learn from it, from all perspectives. But we send out our condolences to the family. And we're going to keep you guys updated on the sentencing phase of this trial. Keep it locked to Ride Along Live.